Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to everyone joining us today. I am Hina Gupta and I will be your host for today's webinar, and it is my pleasure to guide you through the most requested subject, which is how to get BIS certification under Scheme 1. Thank you for taking the time to be here. Before we begin, I would like you to think about one simple question. When you hear the term BIS certification, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Is it ISI Mark? Is it product testing? Or for many manufacturers, is the first thought simply where do we even begin? And that's exactly what today's session is designed to answer. You see, BIS certification is much more than obtaining a license or using the ISI mark. It's about demonstrating that a product consistently conforms to the applicable Indian standard. Through a structured certification framework, many organizations know they need BIS certification, but understanding what the certification actually involves, how to prepare, and how to avoid common mistakes can make the entire journey far more efficient. That's why today's webinar was structured to take you through the certification journey step by step. Let us begin by understanding the foundation. To help us do that, we have with us Ms. Jyoti Chauhan, Technical Executive at KMA Global. Jyoti has over 2 years of experience in regulatory compliance, technical documentation, and quality assurance, including polymer and biofuel research at Indian Oil Corporation Limited R&D Center and quality control in the paint manufacturing sector. She has also supported organizations in strengthening BIS certification and ensuring compliance with applicable Indian standards. With a background in chemical engineering, she brings a practical understanding of how standards translate into real industrial applications. Jyoti, we are delighted to have you with us. Over to you, Jyoti.
Thank you, Hina. Thank you so much for your kind welcome. And good afternoon. A very warm welcome to all of you for this webinar. So, before we dive into the certification process, let me begin with a simple example or a question. Have you ever purchased a pressure cooker or any electrical appliance or even a bag of cement and noticed the ISI mark on it? Most of you have seen it, but very few people actually know what it represents and why it is so important. The ISI mark is much more than just a logo. It is a mark of trust, safety, and quality backed by Bureau of Indian Standard. The mark was originally introduced as the ISI mark by the Indian Standard Institute, and after the establishment of Bureau of Indian Standard under the BIS Act, it continued as the ISI mark under BIS, becoming India's most recognized symbol of product quality and safety. So, what is exactly BIS? Bureau of Indian Standard BIS is the national standard body of India established under the BIS Act 2016. It works under the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. It is responsible for the harmonious development of standardization, marking, and quality certification of goods, services, and system certification in the country.
तुम
So,
लीड हो इस पे कुछ
BIS
कमी होगी
play
तो
a
कैसे बताओगे?
key role in ensuring that
ये तो वैसे मैंने
products
सुना हुआ
available in the market are safe, reliable, and quality. Next, next, think of a BIS as the organization that set the benchmark for quality in India by issuing certificate or license. So, but BIS does much more than just issuing certificate or license. Next, we have key activities under BIS. First is standard formulation. Next is product certification scheme, compulsory registration scheme, foreign manufacturer certification scheme, hallmarking scheme, laboratory services, and training services, national and international level. So, moving on, now you might think and ask, why is BIS certificate is so important? Because it benefits everyone. For consumer, it means safer and more reliable products. For manufacturer, it enhances credibility, build customer confidence and improve market acceptance. And for the country, it promote quality manufacturing and support industrial growth. So BIS been providing traceability and tangibility benefits to the national economy in number of ways, like providing safe, reliable quality goods, minimizing health hazard to consumers, promoting export and import substitutes, control over proliferation of varieties, etc. Next, BIS operates different schemes depending on the type of product, and Scheme 1 is one of them. So, Scheme 1 is the product certification scheme of BIS, commonly known as the ISI Mark scheme. It allows manufacturer to use the ISI mark on the product that comply with the applicable Indian standard. So, ISI mark indicates quality, safety, and reliability. Next, we have certification is granted based on conformity of the product to the applicable Indian standard. Second, assessment of manufacturing capabilities. And third is verification of the quality control system. So based on these assessment, BIS grants the license. Moving ahead, it is also important to understand the legal framework behind Scheme 1. So, as you can see, the legal framework where Scheme 1 operates under the following legal framework. The one is BIS Act 2016, established the legal authority of BIS to formulate Indian standards and grant product certification. Next, BIS Rules 2018 prescribe the procedures and administrative framework for implementing BIS Act. The third is BIS Conformity Assessment Regulation 2018, where define the detailed processes for BIS certification, including applications, inspections, testing, grant of license, and surveillance. So together, these three ensure that every BIS license is granted through a fair, transparent, and standardized process, maintaining the integrity of the ISI mark. Moving on, to ensure uniform implementation, Scheme 1 is supported by four important schedules under the BIS Conformity Assessment Regulation. So here are the key schedules applicable to Scheme 1 includes Schedule 1, journal requirement for grant of license, where include eligibility and basic compliance requirement. Schedule 2, contain the scheme of inspection and testing, which defines the quality control measures and routine testing to be followed by manufacturer. Schedule 3, marking and labeling requirements, explaining how Indian standard or standard marks or ISI marks should be displayed on the certified product. Schedule 4 deals with the surveillance, inspection and testing provisions after the grant of license. So ensuring that manufacturer continue to comply even with applicable Indian standards, inspections, testing provisions, even after the certification, grant of certification. So moving ahead, we have applicability. So now the next question is, how do we know whether scheme 1 applies to a particular product? So the first requirement is that there should be an applicable Indian standard for the product. Next is applicant must be a manufacturer, not importer, seller, supplier, or trader. If the government of India has issued a quality control order QCO for that product, then BIS certification under scheme 1 became applicable. Depending on the government notification, certification may be either mandatory or voluntary. For products covered under QCO, obtaining BIS certification is mandatory, before imported or sold in India. And for other products, no QCO has been issued. Manufacturer may still choose to obtain BIS certification voluntarily to demonstrate product quality and enhance customer confidence. So next, here are some products cover under Scheme 1. As you can see on the screen, cement, steel products, household electrical appliance, pressure cooker, LPG gas cylinders and stoves, cables and wires, chemicals and petrochemicals, and many more. Moving forward, now let's move to what I believe is the most important step in the entire certification journey. Before preparing documents, before arranging product testing, or even before creating an account on BIS portal, the first question every manufacturer should ask is, does my product actually require BIS certification? So believe me, this simple check can save a significant amount of time, effort, and cost. So, how do we verify this? First, we will visit to the BIS website. Second, we go to the conformity assessment. In there, we will go to product certification. Third, we will select the product under compulsory certification scheme 1. Fourth, we will search and identify the product in the notify list. And fifth, there we will read the latest QCO and confirm the applicable Indian standard. So without checking QCO, there is always a risk following the wrong certification requirement. So before I conclude, I would like to leave you with one key takeaway, that every successful BIS certification journey begins with the understanding of basics, and knowing the role of BIS and understanding the scheme 1 and correctly identifying your product's capability are the first and most important step towards achieving certification. So I hope this overview has provided you with a clear foundation on the certification process. And with that note, I will hand it back to Hina. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Jyoti. Thank you for that excellent overview. We have now understood what BIS is, what Scheme 1 represents, and how conformity assessment forms the backbone of the certification framework. But naturally, the next question is, how does an organization actually prepare before submitting an application? What should be in place? What documents, facilities, and systems should a manufacturer have? And what does the certification process look like from start to finish? To guide us through this practical part of the session, I would now like to invite Ms. Megha Solanki, Assistant Manager at KMA Global. Megha has over 2 years of experience in BIS certification, management system standards, and regulatory compliance, assisting organizations in achieving conformity and certification. She also brings prior experience in the quality department of authorized bottler of Coca-Cola, where she gained exposure to HACCP, GMP, food safety standards, and many more. In the next segment, she will walk us through the prerequisites of BIS Scheme 1, followed by the step-by-step BIS certification process. Megha, thank you for joining us today. Over to you.
Thank you, Hina. Thank you for the warm welcome and the introduction. And thanks, Jyoti, for briefing us about the Bureau of Indian Standard and its Scheme 1. Good afternoon to one and all present here, and I hope you all are doing well. Before I move to the main topic of today's webinar, I would like to share one short story with you. So, there is one large manufacturing company decided to enter into the Indian market. After months of research, they finally found buyers in India and received order from them and start producing quality product. Everything was going well and smoothly. But just before dispatching the product, they come to know that their product required BIS certificate. And without it, they could not get custom clearance and they could not legally sell, store, or distribute their product in India. At that moment, they realized the months of hard work just stand still because of one missing document. So, this story depicts that BIS certification is not just a certification, it protects your business and grants the access to the Indian market. So, coming forward, we will look how we can get this certificate. So, first is prerequisites for BIS Scheme 1. Many manufacturers think that the process starts when they submit the application, but the certification journey starts much earlier. It actually starts from these prerequisites. So, the first is check the availability of Indian standard. Manufacturer first need to check whether the Indian standard is available for their product or not, because BIS grants certificate against the available Indian standard. Second, manufacturing capabilities. You must have a proper manufacturing setup as BIS evaluate your production capabilities during the inspection. Third, testing capabilities. You must have proper testing equipment and their valid calibration to conduct the testing as per the requirement of product manual and the SIT. Fourth, product conformity. The manufacturer product must comply with the requirement of Indian standard. Fifth, competent testing person. The manufacturer must have qualified and competent testing person who can understand the Indian standard and conduct the testing as per its requirement. Sixth, authorized Indian representative. Basically, it is the mandatory requirement for the foreign manufacturer. Let me first brief you about what does it mean. So, AIR is a person based in India who is authorized by a foreign manufacturer to act on their behalf for the matters related to BIS certification. So, AIR play a vital role during the BIS journey certification. So, if these prerequisites are not fulfilled, the application may itself face delay or rejection. Now, we will talk about the most frequently asked question that our team receive every day at KMA Global, that how we can apply for it. So, the very first stage is preparatory stage. In this stage, manufacturer identify the applicable IS and check the regulatory and compliance requirement and prepare mandatory documents such as machinery list, testing equipment, details of testing personnel and raw material, and many more. Stage 2, application submission. Once everything is ready, they register themselves on Manak online portal and file the application and upload the relevant document during the preparatory stage and deposit the application fee, that is INR 1000. Stage 3, scrutiny of application. After receiving the application, BIS will review all the document against the Indian standard. If any information is missing, BIS may ask the applicant to provide additional details or correction. Step 4, factory inspection. Next, a BIS officer will visit the manufacturing factory where they check all the submitted document during the application, such as machinery, testing equipment, their valid calibration. Also, they conduct the testing from the testing personnel just to check whether they understand the Indian standard requirement or not. Also, they withdraw the sample for independent testing in India. Stage 5, product evaluation. Then the collected sample are tested in BIS recognized laboratory in India. That withdraw sample must meet the requirement of the Indian standard. If the product pass all the requirements, that the certificate process move to the next step. Stage 6, grant of license. If the factory inspection and product testing are successful, then the BIS grant the license, and then the manufacturer become authorized to use ISI mark on their product after depositing the applicable marking fee. Now, many manufacturers think that now they just get the license and that's all. But post certification compliance is also required. So, the product they are manufacturing must continue comply with the requirement of Indian standard. They make test report as per the SIT, upload consignee detail whenever they reshipment to India, and timely renewal before their license validity is expired. So, if you ensure these points, you are already reduced 50% of delay in your application. So now we have understood the application process. A very common question that every manufacturer's mind is how we actually manage all these steps smoothly and without delay. So this is where the right guidance make a clear difference. Let me now explain how KMA Global support you at every stage of BIS certification journey. So the very first step is applicability and feasibility assessment. Our team will help you to determine whether your product requires BIS certification and identify its applicable Indian standard. Next, our team prepare the necessary documents in line with the requirement of the applicable IS to reduce the chances of delay or rejection. For foreign manufacturer, we act as authorized Indian representative, complete all the requirement formalities and take complete formalities ownership of the process. Next, we assist manufacturer in getting their registration done on the Manak online portal and filing a correct and accurate application. Also, we help you to understand the requirement of applicable Indian standard and conduct the testing as per its requirement. Next, factory readiness and inspection support. Before the inspection, we inform you about the list of documents required at the time of inspection and help you to prepare them in advance. We also provide on-site support during the inspection. Next, our team regularly follow up with BIS, prepare responses to their queries, if any, and coordinate with the concerned authority to help move forward. Next, post-certification compliance support. Our support does not end after the license is granted. We continue to assist you for the post certification compliance support as well. In simple words, KMA Global is your complete support system from understanding the requirement to getting the license and beyond. Now, we will discuss the common pitfalls in the BIS certification that we observe. Lack of understanding of applicable Indian standard and the QCO, submission of incomplete or non-compliant documentation. Next, weak alignment with Indian standard requirements, delay or inadequate response to BIS observation, non-availability of authorized Indian representative where required, non-conformity in independent sample testing, treating certificate as a one-time activity, and inadequate review of financial and technical implication before certification. So, before I conclude, I would like to summarize that the key takeaways from today's session are the successful BIS certification under Scheme 1 depends upon three factors. First, understanding the requirement, preparing correctly before applying, and last, maintaining compliance even after license is granted. With the right planning and expert support, the process becomes much more easier and structured. I hope this session gave you a clear understanding of BIS certification under Scheme 1. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you so much, Megha. That was a very practical walkthrough of the certification process. So far, we have understood what BIS certification under Scheme 1 is and the practical steps involved in the preparing of and obtaining certification. However, beyond understanding the process, there is immense value in learning from the experiences of someone who has spent decades working at the core of India's standards and certification ecosystem. It is my privilege to introduce Mr. Ajay Kumar Bhatnagar, Chairman and Managing Director of KMA Global and former Senior Director at BIS. With over 46 years of experience in testing, quality control, standards, and compliance, he has worked extensively in national and international standardization, conformity assessment, product certification, management systems, and regulatory compliance. Sir, we are honored to have you with us today. I now invite you to share your journey and insights with us. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Hina. Good afternoon to everybody. I hope all you will be well. My introduction has already been given by Hina. Here I would like to mention my very close association with the industry. I have been associated with the industry in one way or the other for the past around 46 years, which is divided into three parts. One is that I worked personally in industry, in a chemical industry, prior to joining Government of India Bureau of Indian Standard. And then over a decade, I worked in BIS, and where I closely interacted and discussed in detail the various problems of the industry. So I was quite well connected with the industry problems. What I could understand while working with BIS or prior to BIS in the industry, that industry doesn't have, uh, any problem related to quality, maintenance of the quality, the technology part, the competence part, the manufacturing capabilities, the testing capabilities. There was no problem in that area. So when we were discussing, I was discussing with the industry people. So what I could know that there is some gap in understanding the compliance system, which is sometimes complicated also. So compliance system, I mean that many a times various standards, product standard under scheme 1 of BIS are made mandatory through quality control orders issued by various ministries depending upon the nature of the product. So what I could understand that the manufacturers, while they were quite competent in producing a quality product, but they were lacking somewhere in, uh, you know, uh, complying the requirement of the regulatory body, certification body, and the statutory body. So with that state of mind, I thought that because I was close to retirement, I superannuated in 2018. So I thought that uh, I should help the industry even after my retirement, because this was my passion to have close interaction with the industry and try to solve their problems, what they are facing. So that was the inspiration to me to open a company, a consultancy company, where I could help the industry and resolve their problem, especially with respect to compliance system. So we opened a company. The name is KMA Global. It was opened in 2017, 1 year prior to my retirement. I joined this company in 2019, and since then, our approach, the approach of KMA Global was basically, the principle were basically three. Number one, that we had strong SOPs so that if somebody follows those SOPs, so there will be uh, minimum problems in complying the requirement of the regulatory body and the certification body. We have strong SLAs, and then we ensured that that has been our USP even when I was working in BIS. So that was our USP since beginning of opening this company, that we are quick responsive company. We reply to the industry or to any person who is contacting us. That is our USP, that we reply within 48 hours in detail, and within 24 hours we acknowledge the any query which we are receiving. So this helps us in getting the things done in a much easier manner, and in a effective and efficient manner. Our vision was to ensure that we wanted to become the global leader, and we wanted our name should be, spread over the globe, and that is how we ensured and we did it. I would like to tell the, my team structure. Uh, this is our technical team. Our team is basically guided by our CEO, Mr. Mahim Jain, who is also a very senior officer, ex-former officer of BIS. He superannuated as Scientist G and Deputy Director General. So under his guidance and whatever little knowledge I do have, we both are guiding our team. I'm proud of my team. They are doing the work excellently, and with the effort of our entire team, which you will be seeing on this slide, this is our technical team headed by our CEO and our Vice President, Nitin, and Karthik, who is Director. They are guiding the entire team, and the team is working excellently. Thank you, team, for providing excellent services to the industry. And here I would also like to tell that what have been our achievement in our key milestones in such a short period. Because of our USPs, we could be able to facilitate the grant of license under Scheme 1 to various big companies, which include Shinichi, they are in Japan, Celanese, Singapore, US, and China, and many more others, Indian as well as foreign countries. So one thing I would like to tell about our special achievements, that we could be able to facilitate the grant of BIS license, which was first in the world. The product was acetic acid, and the ISA 695, at that time it was 1986, and it has now been revised as 2020. And this license was granted to Celanese, Singapore, and then they applied for their China unit as well as for the US unit. So the US license was also granted. The time duration normally for foreign manufacturer is 4 to 5 months from the date of submission of application, but we ensured that the licenses are granted because of our excellent and robust SOPs. We ensured that the license is granted at a very minimum period, and I'm pleased to inform you that our minimum period for grant of license has been the 3 months, which is a record, and the range of grant of license, you might be aware that it depends on many factors. Sometimes the delays happened at the part of the client or at the part of applicant. Sometimes for some unforeseen circumstances, the delay occurs at our level also, and at the certification body, that is BIS level also. So, but the range has not been more than 6 months in any case, and except the COVID period, where some little more time took place because of the COVID problem. So this is our journey and key milestones. We spreaded our working right from the multi-products, multi-location, and multi-grade. Multi-grade, when I say, I mean that this is related to polymer. It's a very complicated standards where the designation codes are decided. So we helped the industry in identifying and categorizing the various designation codes of the polymer products like PE, PVC, PC, and other polymer products. So with this, this is our example of the compliance support. This is our foreign client, which we are helping quality control teams meet Indian standards through technical guidance and inspection readiness. This is how we are functioning, and I'm sure that with the great and excellent effort of our team, we would be able to spread our, this thing more in more countries. So with this, thank you very much. This is our quality and compliance excellence. By reducing this sample failure through strong documentation and QC support, we ensure that BIS license is granted. This is a sample of grant of license letter. So we ensure that the BIS license granted easily. And this is on-ground technical support, which our team is giving to an Indian industry located in Haryana. So thank you very much. I would request Hina to take over, and if there is any question, I would be glad to answer that question.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your sharing, for your inspiring journey and the milestones that have shaped KMA Global over the past years. We will now move to the Q&A session, and if you have any questions, please type them in the chat box. I will be happy to take your questions and sir will address them. Thank you for your active participation. Let's take our first question. We have received a question from Mr. Shivang Tripathi. He is asking, can you tell me more about the online BIS portal? Sir, please kindly address this.
You see, the online BIS portal, BIS just to facilitate the applicant in a lesser time to get a license, to facilitate the uh, applicant in bringing the transparency. BIS has introduced the online submission of application and online submission of all other documentation which are required for the grant of license. So it was started long back for the domestic manufacturer, but recently it was introduced for our foreign manufacturers also after a successful trial. So presently all the applicants, foreign applicants as well as domestic applicant, those who wish to take a license from BIS, as my colleague Jyoti and Megha has told you, the process, the entire process can be followed online on BIS Manak online portal. If the detailed process, if you want to know, you can come back to us and we will tell you the how the application is submitted online, how the documents are uploaded on BIS online portal, and even the services are after the grant of license. These services are being offered online by BIS, and we are facilitating the all applicants, all industry, whosoever contacting us, that how we have to operate that online portal and how the application has to be submitted, that we are explaining to our all clients, all interested persons. I hope you are happy with the answer, Shivang.
Another question from Ms. Kalpana is, what is QCO?
The full form of the QCO is the quality control order. But the meaning of the QCO is that many a times it is observed by various ministries that this particular product, because of the safety reason, because of the health reason, because of the quality issues, various government industry thinks that this product should be mandated by Bureau of Indian Standard under mandatory certification scheme. So the ministry cannot directly grant the license to the granting authority of the license is BIS. So ministry issues a quality control order, means a direction that from the date of issuing of that notification or after some period of date of issuing of the notification, that product cannot be manufactured, stored, import or sale in Indian market without having a valid BIS license. It means that after issuing that QCO, quality control order, that notification, if suppose, say for example, if that notification has been issued by Ministry of Chemical Fertilizer that from now onwards or after issuance, after 6 months of issuance of this quality control order of say for example acetic acid, no one can manufacture, store or import or sell this acetic acid without getting a BIS license. It means any manufacturer in the world who are sending the material to India or to Indian market, they have to get BIS license prior to do this business. So quality control order means that the direction of the government of India to ensure that the period specified in that quality control order has to be followed, and after that period no one can get the no one can do the business of that particular product without a BIS license. So this is the meaning of QCO. Is it okay, Kalpana?
We will take one final question from Lalita that asks, can you please give a brief about AIR?
AIR. Okay. It's a good question. AIR means Authorized Indian Representative. So first of all, this is applicable to only foreign manufacturers. It is not applicable for Indian manufacturers. The main responsibility and the main functioning of the AIR basically works as a bridge between Bureau of Indian Standard and the manufacturer. Manufacturer has to ensure that before applying to BIS for a license, they need to appoint a authorized Indian representative. Authorized Indian representative means either that person should be an Indian resident or he should be an employee of the foreign manufacturer office based in India. So basic requirement of AIR that he or she should be Indian resident and he should take all responsibility and he should be, basically ultimate control. He should have ultimate control on all the affairs related to BIS and manufacturer while getting the BIS license. And the authorized Indian representative signs various documents on Indian stamp paper like indemnity bond, like BIS agreement with the licensee. These documents are signed by AIR on behalf of the foreign manufacturer. So there are certain responsibilities of AIR. Number one, that AIR is required only for foreign manufacturer, and the detailed responsibility, if you want to know, we'll forward you the because as per the Act, BIS Act 2016, Section 14 and Clause 3.1 of the BIS agreement, the nomination of the AIR is the mandatory requirement for granting a license to a foreign manufacturer. Is it okay, Lalita?
Due to time constraints, we will take one final question from Mr. Neeraj Joshi. Sir, could you please brief us on the migration from IS 13252 and IS 616 to IS 62368?
Hina, will you please repeat?
Sure, sir.
Hmm.
So could you please brief us on the migration from IS 13252 and IS 616 to IS 62368?
Please let me know whether it is merged and a new IS is made or some ISO is adopted. Hina, are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
What I want to ask, whether after the merger of 616 and 13252, a new standard has been prepared. It is a Indian standard or is it a adoption of ISO or IEC? Yes, it is adoption of, my colleague has told that it is an adoption of IEC and ISO. IEC, it is adoption of IEC. You see what happened, I tell you, just take 2 minutes on it. When there is some international standard on a particular product, then BIS relevant committee examine that IEC standard and they see whether we can adopt that standard or not. So there is a detailed procedure for that. But once it is established that IEC can be adopted, and after merging the 616 and 13252, then BIS, after following a certain procedure, adopts that IEC. Once the standard is adopted, then a period of 6 months or 9 months is given. During that period, both the standard will be implemented concurrently. I mean to say, after adoption of IEC, what is the IEC number? 62368. 62368. So after publishing of this 62638 IEC, IS/IEC, both these standards will concurrently run for at least 6 months or 1 year, whatever period is specified in the notification. But after that period, these 616 and 13252 will not exist, and only IEC 6268 will work. Is it okay? And in case of any further clarification is required, I would request the question, Mr. Joshi, I think is asking this question. So I would request him to kindly write to us at info@kmagc.com, and my officer will explain this thing in detail, and we will be happy to resolve this particular query. Thank you very much, Mr. Joshi.
Thank you for your active participation. If your questions couldn't be taken up, please don't worry. Our team will be happy to connect with you after the webinar, or you may share your query at the below mentioned email. As we have come to the end of today's webinar, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to all our speakers. I would also like to thank each one of you for joining us today and for your active participation throughout the session. We truly appreciate the thoughtful questions and the interest you have shown in today's discussion. We hope this webinar has provided you with a clearer understanding of the BIS certification journey under Scheme 1 and the importance of approaching it with the right preparation and guidance. Now, I would like to request all to share their valuable feedback through the link shared in the chat box and also in WhatsApp channel. On behalf of the entire KMA Global team, thank you once again for being with us today. We look forward to connecting with you again in one of our upcoming webinars. Have a wonderful day and stay safe. Thank you.